So Tyler the Creator has been a very controversial artist, especially from like the 2010s to 2014s. Now, I've listened to a decent amount of Tyler the Creator. I'm not gonna say I'm the biggest Tyler the Creator fan, but I like his music. And I've went back and heard some of the things he used to say in his older songs. So when he started getting outed for these tweets, the tweets weren't really surprising to me because I already knew that back then he was kind of seen as like an edge lord. I think the main thing I really want to talk about though is that I think his fan base is starting to become a problem, and I hope that the direction he goes in is really like fixing this. And I'm gonna explain what I mean. So back then in 2010, a lot of people used to say a lot of edgy things because that's kind of how it was. Things were different on the internet. Now, one thing I'll say about Tyler is he was saying some like extremely outlandish shit. Most of it wasn't even funny. He was just saying extremely edgy things. And I don't know, like, if it was to get a reaction. I don't know if it's how he truly felt. Regardless, he said these things. And in him saying these things, it ended up cultivating a fan base that was very much the same as him. They were edge lords and they said a lot of crazy shit. And the problem with cultivating that type of fan base is once you try to grow out of it, I feel like they try to keep you down, and I feel like they never really completely go away. And I think that kind of brings us back to present day now. It's how everybody's reacting to his tweets getting pulled back up. The whole reason that these tweets even got brought back up is because he liked a tweet that talked about how Tyler the Creator fans don't appreciate black art and music, which you can agree to disagree. I'm not gonna sit and act like I've paid all the way attention to his fan base until actually now. I think I have an opinion on how his fan base truly is, because in the way that they responded to him saying that, they basically just brought up the tweets and they brought up him saying crazy shit. And then bringing that stuff up basically opened up a whole other layer of his toxic and weird fan base. Like, one of the tweets I seen was this one right here. It says he curated this fan base. The edgelord era ended over 10 years ago. Most of these fans didn't pop up till Flower Boy and Igor. He's been outwardly pro-black for some time now. Stop making excuses for shitty consumers. Sincerely pro-black artist who's been a fan of Tyler Creator since 2011. Now, my problem with that, I do think, yes, people can move on, but I think the problem with Tyler is I feel like he hasn't been vocal enough about his past and how he doesn't agree with it anymore. Now, maybe I'm wrong and maybe I just haven't seen it, but I feel like I haven't seen him being vocal enough about how that shit is just not it. Now, maybe him outwardly trying to be more pro-black nowadays, maybe in his head is atonement for it, but I feel like it doesn't necessarily cover up you saying non-pro-black shit. Now that you're just seemingly, I want to say, this super pro-black figure. And I'm not saying he's not. I kind of don't know with him. He's an interesting person. Like, I feel like I don't ever really know exactly what he was even say or what he's thinking in these situations. But I think this person is kind of wrong, because one thing you have to understand, it's not like these fans just left. Just because he gained more fans through Igor and Flower Boy, that does not mean that the old fans just are gone. That doesn't just erase the old fans. The old fans are still there. It's just that he brought some newer ones that maybe aren't as weird as his older fans. But the thing is, I think what's actually happening is there's a clash within his fan base. It's the super edgelord people from that 2010s era, and then it's the people now that are actually fighting against that shit, because that shit is kind of weird. Like, some of the tweets that he was saying wasn't even like funny. I'm not gonna act like I've never laughed at any type of dark humor, bro. Sometimes dark humor can be funny, but some of this shit wasn't even funny. Like, literally, this is just an example of some of the things he would say. R. Kelly peed on a fucking child and got away with it. That is the most swagged out shit I've ever heard in my life. Dude, at Diddy, thanks for being a successful black businessman, paving the way for niggas like me. Stay out of trouble. Chris Brown is that nigga. I can't get over how swag he is. He socked her in her fucking mouth. Literally, on Selena Gomez's 18th birthday, he said she's now 18, so she can legally take my... You get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not finna keep reading the rest of it, but you get what it says. And he did the same thing on Victoria Justice's 18th birthday. He tweeted about wanting to have sexual intercourse with her. And all of that to say, yes, can a person grow from all of this? I do think they can. And I want to say that obviously Tyler isn't the same as he used to be. Because I don't think he is. I don't know all the way because you don't truly ever know a celebrity. And that's why you shouldn't be completely loyal to any celebrity because you don't know how these niggas really are. I will say, I think we should give people room to grow from the stuff that happened to them in the past or the things that they used to do in the past. My only issue is, I think in seeking that growth, you have to accept what you did, talk about it a little bit, say that's not me no more, but give your fans an extreme amount of pushback and say that is not how I am anymore. That is not how y'all should be anymore. And then move on from the situation. And maybe we will get that in a couple days. But so far, Tyler has been very silent. So I don't really know what's going on through his head. I want to say that in his brain, he's looking at it as they just bringing up my old tweets. Fuck that. I don't even believe that no more. But I think sometimes you have to put in the effort to actually say, I'm sorry for what I've done. And I know some people are going to say, oh, but this is not the first time this has happened. Okay, I get that. But you have to also understand, every time something like this happens, new people learn more about Tyler the Creator. There's a group of his fan base that probably have never seen these tweets and never thought he would have said something like this. Just like the tweet from earlier said about how he gained a bunch of fans from Igor and Flower Boy. There's a bunch of fans that came from those albums that have never seen any of the things he said before, because some people are very casual. They listen to it, they like it, they maybe go to a concert, and then that's it. They're not really looking on Twitter, they're not looking on Instagram to see all the crazy things an artist may have said in the past. And I feel like to just completely be like, hey man, bro, just let it go, it was so many years ago. No, I think we can still criticize that shit, and then the artist can, and just say, all right, that's not me no more. And then we move on. But to just look at it and just be completely like, nah, man, that shit just don't matter because it was so far long ago. I don't agree with that. That's really all I got to say. I hope Tyler can actually move on from this in a more positive way. And every time something about his negative past gets brought up, instead of completely trashing it, just be a little bit more positive and cool about it in a way that also pushes back on that toxic fan base that you used to have, because this type of shit, you don't want this to just keep following you. I know he probably burnt out, because I would be too, but I also wouldn't say no shit like this. What do y'all think? That's all I got to say.